I already hit the go live button. Oops, I forgot that part. Okay, and I have to change a few things. And I see that, okay, the sound seems to be there. And I'm going to switch this down to my tabletop so I can see, yep, I don't have my settings set right for that. There was quite a bit of lag there. Hopefully, if you're there watching, you're not experiencing all that lag that I am. We'll just have to see how it goes. Anyway, this is a makeup session from when I missed yesterday because I was out of town. So, let's see here. I think I can see that there's no one there right now. Hopefully that means that I'm getting to get all these settings set right before anyone is on there looking. And I don't know how much of this stuff I can change while I am, already streaming. And we're not doing this mixing perfect blacks and all that kind of stuff. So let me just see if I can change a bunch of stuff and make something happen while live. You can see me typing probably. My my keyboard is up high above my work table area because I use my laptop for this. Let's see what I want to say we're doing today. You know what? I'm not even going to say anything. I don't think I have to. So put that on there. And what I'm going to do is pick up where we left off. I think my last live stream we did some doodles kind of stuff, some putting marks on top of a paper that I had already painted, and I created this one to show you how to make a background, and we could just draw on that, but I think what I will like better is if, excuse me a second while I put my hair up in a ponytail. My studio is really warm. I have my fan on, but if I leave my hair down, I'm going to be a sweaty wreck before 5 minutes have passed. So just pull that all up so it's off my neck there. Looking at my picture up there, I've got some things in the screen that I don't really want in there. Oh, it's because I typed and I hit buttons. So now I have to undo all of those things. So, well, that can stay. That can go. Let's see here what I want to have. Oh, I have to go to this screen and turn that off, and then we're back to normal. Okay, and I guess I'll be right here for this just a minute. What we're going to do is really kind of on the fly today. I don't have a super mapped out plan because I did have to be out of town all of a sudden yesterday, and I didn't get to do my live stream like I had planned yesterday, and so I didn't get a chance to change the thumbnail. I don't even know what you saw when you clicked on there to see that I was going live. So hopefully this is just going to be relaxed and informal, and probably mostly me just goofing off with my paints. And you can ask me questions if you want. You can just watch and let me know if you're out there, and we'll go for probably about a half an hour today. If you're able to put something in the chat, please do. It helps me a lot to know that you're out there. Okay, so going back down to my tabletop, I am going to let's see. I took all my equipment with me yesterday, so everything was packed up inside my bag, and in the process of getting ready for the live stream today, I had to set all of my equipment back up and pull out all my supplies again where I had them packed to take along. But I think we're ready to go. I've got paper towels and water. I've got my paints. I think my picture is in the way of my paint palette. And why did that not make it go away? Oh, okay. Don't know why that worked like that. Maybe because I had everything unplugged, I have to, oh, and it's back. Great. Let's see here. If I can go back to this and hit that button, I'm not getting what I want to see. My computer's doing really crazy things while I'm, oh, I forgot there's lag. Duh. Okay, maybe that's fixed now, and I'll remember that there's lag, and that's what's causing that. So, I am going to, you know what, I'm going to set this aside unless someone shows up and tells me they're watching. I'm going to switch gears totally here because I just feel more like painting a starfish today. So let me clean all of this darker color off my paint palette. That was all dried paint on there, and we don't need it. And I think if I got the light, I think I could get better light on my paint palette. Let's try how that does. Help or not help? I can't even see if I'm turning it on and off. There, I am. I just can't see the difference. Nope, no difference. All right, I'm gonna leave that turned off, and I'm gonna open the shades a little bit more. Hopefully there won't be too much sun. Oh, that's not helping, is it? Move that so it's not creating a shadow. There. When the lag catches up, I'll be able to tell if that did what I needed done or not. There, that'll go there. Okay, paintbrushes, good. We got everything. What I'm gonna do, let's see, clean that off there, and still can't see it as good as I wanted to see it. I got all these lights and things that I bought to try and make the light on my paint palette show up better, and some days it does, some days it doesn't, and I haven't been able to figure out what makes the difference. Anyhow, I'm going to paint a starfish, and if I was going to show you a starfish reference, I think, let's see, let me double check that I have that on my computer, and if it's on here, I can go ahead and pop that up into, where is it? I have loads of images saved onto my laptop, but apparently I don't have this starfish, so can't show you that, sorry. But I'm going to just paint one. I'm going to make it up. Let's see here. I have some bright yellow, and I'm going to just put a top on this starfish like that. And then I'm going to put some red into it. Make it go like that, and spread that way over there and get watery. Then I'm going to put some gold in the bottom. Got to add a lot of water so this will really flow around and make, oops, get in there, and make this look pretty from the colors melding together. Draw a little of that water over and put that there. And there's the beginnings of my starfish starting to happen. I'll leave a little opening right in the middle there because I might want to put something else right there. Okay, that's it for my largest brush. Now I'm going to switch to the smaller one, and we need more color right along here. That is going to be pretty. There's more color there. I like how the orange is doing on here, but I want to just put plenty color because what I'm going to do is hit it with my spray bottle, and that little wonky shape won't hurt anything. Okay, now let's see. I want to change up that yellow a little bit. Get that in there. Okay, got a starfish happening, and I'm going to put a little tiny bit of this Winsor Violet and make just a bit of a background start to happen. And it's okay. Oops, I got some fuzzy or something in the paint. It's okay if it touches up into the starfish in parts, but I will say be real careful not to get too much purple mixing in with your yellow, because that'll make a gray brown. It won't be the pretty thing we're trying to get happening. This is a good thing to play with to experiment with how much water and how much paint do you need to do these different techniques when you're painting with watercolor. So if you're new to watercolor, or if you just feel like you haven't yet ever mastered the how much water to add, this is a great way to play around and figure that out. Okay, now I'm adding some green in here because it'll mix with that blue and kind of go turquoisey, and I like some turquoise color. But I don't want to paint the whole background. That is enough right there. And it looks real messy, but that's because what I'm going to do now is hit it with my spray bottle, and let's see if I can zoom in. And of course I'm not going to know if it zoomed in right or not for several seconds. So I'll take a minute to just tell you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spray water on this, and it's going to blur everything all up. There we go, it did zoom in. Okay, so spraying water all over it, and then tilting it around like this. My paint is not moving as much as I would like it to, so I want to just get rough with it there. Really spray it all over, and I do want some of those streaky things to happen. That makes things really pretty in the finished result that we're going to get. Okay, so see there, my paint is starting to go all over everywhere now, and I do think I want to have a drop of red go in the other direction, so I'm going to need some more pigment. Oops, let's use this brush. I'm going to need some more pigment on my paper, and I'm going to zoom back out so that you can for sure see what I'm doing. I'm going to drop some more pigment in these wet areas because now that part I really want to just go off up there. But I want some of this red really going out over here. And I'm going to just, and if I lay this down in there, I've got a mess happening on my table. Okay, so now I have a lot of really wet, watery paint here on my brush, and there, I just threw some in, and once again, I can spray the heck out of it to force it to move around, and I'm going to just throw some color in right there. What is that going to do? Now this is getting really sloppy, and you're probably thinking, what in the world? This is a mess. You could do this without a lesson, right? But all of that running all over everywhere stuff, we're going to take that and turn that into really cool details with the markers and pens and stuff as it dries. So as it dries, I'm going to just stand here and look at it and think, what do I want to do here? I've got this starfish kind of coming out of a misty sort of an area over here, but I've also got extra color. So what's going on in the background right now, I don't know, but I'm going to figure it out. I was thinking, I always tell people to think about when you were a kid and you found shapes in the clouds, and that is a really good way to look at this. We're just I'm creating some random shapes so that I can then go back and look in them and see if I can find some other shapes. And I had paint on my hand somehow, and I've got a thumbprint right there. Rather than see that as a mistake, I'm going to incorporate that somehow or other into this piece. And this is how you just let a piece kind of create itself. Watercolor is really fun for doing projects where you let your painting paint itself. And this is one way you do it. You put the paint on the paper and let it run all together and see what happens. And then I'm going to take my markers here in a minute and start picking out little bits and pieces of shapes that I see. Sorry, I hope this is not too noisy. I'm trying to unpack all my pens. They were with me on my trip yesterday, so they're all inside this bag. And I need to put them out here where I can get to them while we work. I've got these white gel pens, which I do still use, and I like those for fine detailed stuff that needs to be white. I got this one, I think I may have mentioned before. This is a metallic blue one. It's a jelly roll pen. I don't actually like that pen. I thought I would. This is one of the things you learn though about your work by experimenting and playing with projects like this. You discover things that you love and things that you don't actually love after you thought you would, and you discover cool color combinations and fun ways to do things to really create interesting artwork. What in the world? I've dropped something onto the paper there. Don't want that little bit of dirt in my piece. Okay, so now I've got a little bit of streaky things happening. I think I would have liked it better if I had more of that yellow running, but it did something down here, and I'm going to enhance that with my markers, which I have to get those out as well. So I'm going to use a lot of yellows and reds. Let's see, I'm going to set that aside, put this right here with my yellows, and I've got all of this different sets here. I don't think I'll use the Sharpies today, but I might, you never know. What I can do though is I can see that this is kind of orangey, and I'm going to use some of this orangey color right here, and I'm going to mimic some of those shapes because they kind of look like either sea corals or splashes of water or something. So I'm just going to kind of put some shapes in here, something like this. Oh, and I guess I'd really better zoom in for this so you can see detailed stuff going on here. And it's going to take a second for my computer screen to catch up because of that lag. But there we go, I've got you in the frame. Okay, so I'm going to just start putting some stuff like this out here, and then what I'll do is I'll blend that. Those are just I think they kind of look like corals to me. I've got a card around here somewhere with some oh, there was a big thump noise outside my window. I don't know what's going on, but I guess I'll ignore it. But anyway, I've got this card that I picked up in a coffee shop and souvenir shop down in the Keys, and it's got all these cool different pictures of marine invertebrates, and they're corals of every different kind. And then on the flip side is some other ones, and some crustaceans, I guess you call them. There's a conch shell. There's a couple of starfish right there. They're called sea stars. And anyways, I'm making some shapes here that are going to kind of mimic some of the stuff that I see on this thing. And so I'm going to just set that aside there. And if you don't have one of those cards, you can Google that same, Google marine invertebrates, and you'll find some cool pictures of some stuff that you can incorporate into your picture here. And as it dries, I'm just going to really be picking out nice shapes. My table's getting too full. Let's move the paintbrushes. I'll probably use them a little bit again in a minute, but right now I'm done with them. Okay, so here's another color that I can just come back in here and start putting some more stuff to kind of change this up. And I know this doesn't really look like a lot of anything right now, but that is because what we're going to do is go back in here with one of these blending pens. And again, if you don't have a blending pen, but you do have some markers, you can usually use a damp paintbrush and move this ink from this marker. Let's see. I'll just get this little paintbrush wet and put that water on here, and look at how it starts moving that that ink around to soften up those edges and smooth those things around, and you can start making the little hint of some corals or something in your picture right over here. And it just kind of blends in with these random things that you got with your cauliflowers and blooms and stuff from your spray bottle, spraying that color on here. And I really like how the color just kind of, it's really dark up there at the center, and then it softens out here to the edge. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. And now I'm going to talk less and work more, because it looks like to me that there's no one watching right now. And so I may record this and turn it into a different video later. Again, no one's got anything in the chat, so it doesn't appear to me that there's anyone out there. So I'm just going to start working here. I'm putting stuff in here to bring out details in the surface of this little starfish. If I look at him on here, he's got a kind of a pocked surface, and there's kind of something that goes. Let me use a gold color. I'm going to use this one and make some circles right out through there, up to the tip there. And he's got that on all of his sides. That should have come more to the center, so we'll just be off center right there. And I'm going to change the color of them over there, but I'm going to stick with this color here to go out this one. And partly I'm looking at the picture, and partly I'm looking at my starfish, and little circles are just kind of appearing to me on the page, and I go, okay, that's where one goes, so I'm going to put it right there. I started telling you looking for shapes in the clouds is a good way to do this, and I really think it is. It's, to me, it's the way to make this happen. You remind yourself of what fun you had when you were a kid and you did this kind of thing. I'm going to use this to make this right here. Oops, it's not quite dark enough. This one came from here. Try this pen right here. See if this one will be dark enough. Yeah, that's a little bit darker and makes that just better. Anyway, when I was a kid, I did like to sit and find shapes in the clouds, and it was relaxing and peaceful experience to just kind of goof off and use my imagination. And so that's what this is kind of all about here. Now, there's a couple different ways to approach this. I'm going to do this 2 different ways. On this one, I'm going to just spread that water right straight down there, and it just make that color just kind of bloom a little bit. Now, you could do it like that, or you could, where I've got these other shapes, I could lay some color on there, some water on top of that color, and just work to soften that intentionally exactly where I want it softened, keeping the color out of the centers there as much as possible. And bring that tip right back into shape there. But I like the lightness of that color, so I don't want to get rid of all of it. And my light center went away when I sprayed it with my water bottle so much, so I'm going to create a new one here by lifting up some paint right out of the center. And I'm using a lot of water because I kind of would like it to do one of those cauliflowers or blooms right there in that center. That will actually add to the appearance of this rather than take away from it. And on this side, let's see, look how much this is really running all over everywhere. So I'm going to go direct that a little bit more how I want it. But I don't want to mess up that bloom. I like it. So I'm going to leave that like that. And just kind of bring this up and around into here. Then I want to soften some of this color a good bit. And in fact, I think I'll just do that right over the whole top. That will go good. And bring a little bit of that pinky color right down into there. I like how that is, and I like this lightness around here, so I'm going to skirt around that a little bit. Then, let's see here. I don't know what I want to do with those yet, so I'm not going to do anything. That's another thing. When you don't have an idea yet, don't just rush yourself. Don't feel like you have to hurry. Or just do something because you think you need to do something. Let it wait and let it talk to you a little bit and tell you what it wants to be like. There's nothing wrong with taking some time. You're actually investing time, your time and yourself and your energy in your art piece. And if your art is worth something, it's going to be worth what you invested into it. So invest some time. And don't be afraid to go slow and make things happen at a slow enough pace that you can direct it to go where you want it to go and have time to think about it and have time to find those shapes and do it in a relaxed way that lets you enjoy creating art. Now let's see, I'm a fan of dots, so can I get some dots? Not with this one. Too light. How about that one was too light too? Let's see, this one should do it. Yeah, it's just putting some dots in there. Now I'm going to work on this for a while. And it's also still kind of wet. Well, I'm still adding water to it, so of course it's wet. So I am going to spend some time working on this. And it's going to turn into something really pretty. The more I work on it, the prettier it gets, and the more it starts looking like something interesting. So there's no good reason to tell yourself that you can't make pretty art and make fun art. Because if you just take some time and keep working on your piece until it gets like you like it, you will definitely see that you can make some fun and pretty stuff. Now I'm just drawing something on here that wasn't here in the paint, but that is okay because I can add to my piece anything I want to. It's a mixed media piece, so there's no rules saying I can't color all over it with markers and turn it into something else unique and pretty and fun. So there's the start of some kind of a little coral. I'm actually making it look similar to this right here, branching tube sponge. I don't know if they all look like that, but I have this little card that shows that one, and so I'm making something along those lines right here. And it's got these lighter colored parts that look like maybe bumps. And so to get that figured out, I'm just putting some circles on here. And inside the middle, the center part there is a darker color. So let me get, oops, that one goes over here. I need a darker purple. I wonder if this will do it or if it'll be too red. That's going to be too red. Let's see here. I got to get another set of markers, I think. Ooh. There's this yellow, I mean not yellow, purple Sharpie. Let's see what this one will do. Oh, that's the perfect color. So I'm going to just color it in like that. Okay, that's the tops of them, these tubes. And then I think I'll get some more purple paint and dash on a little bit more purple color in here with my paintbrush. A spot there. Okay, then I want to put some water on that bottom part, but I'm going to do it again with my spray bottle because I like the way that looks. So I'm adding some extra pigment right here, so there'll be something to work with. So there's a lot of extra pigment. Now I'm going to spray that with my spray bottle. And it just starts to move and it does this random stuff. And I don't have the hard edges there, and I have a little bit of a slightly lighter color here going into the darker color. Now I'm going to have to tilt it back up so all my pigment doesn't run out of there. And then I want this to just come right outside of there and spread out. That's kind of nice. I like that. Give it a little bit of a lacy bottom, and then I'm going to lay it flat and let it just kind of run where it wants to go and dry, and then I'll go back in. Actually, I can do it now. Let's put a little bit more light pink color in here. And then I'll use my paintbrush to kind of spread that color out a little bit into that thing. Just the tip of my brush, and my brush is just a little bit wet with a little bit of clean water. So I'm just softening that right down in there. Up and down. That I think looks good. Oh, but I didn't do anything to those tops. Let's see here. I'm going to just scrub that just a little bit. Now that was a Sharpie marker, so it isn't going to want to move as much or as easy as the other markers. They're water soluble more so than the Sharpie permanent marker is. So probably should have worked on that a little bit sooner. but that's getting it done. Let's just soften it just a little bit. And making the tops of those tube sponges look like something. So I like that, and I like that my my starfish is kind of soft looking, like it's appearing out of whatever here. I'm going to try to make the whole thing like that, and it's just an undersea sort of a fun piece. And let's see here where we're at. I'm thinking I want to add a little bit more of the blue-green colors in here. So what do I want with the blue-green color? And again, I can go back to my card here and look, and that jellyfish is really pretty. I'm wondering, I could possibly turn this little part up here in the top into some kind of a jellyfish looking shape. Let's see if I pull that down in and make sure that's in the frame. And again, because of the lag, I apologize. I have to wait and see when I've got it in the frame. Okay, a little bit better there. Okay, now I'm going to just draw something on here. I'm going to use this for some shadow. I'm going to use this for the bottom edge, and I can make these parts of the jellyfish that hang down go kind of behind the starfish, or I can make it in front of the starfish. So that's, you know, I got to sit here and think, which one do I want it to be? I don't know for sure yet, so I'm going to go ahead and just start putting this edge in here. And I see right away this color's not as dark as I'd like it to be. It's a really pretty color on this piece of paper, and it does look like it matches this moon jellyfish right here. But I think I would just like it to be a little darker. So I'm going to try a different blue. Let's see if this one, that was a blue-green. I'm going to try this one. Still not quite dark enough. I'm following that edge that got created when I sprayed that on there with my spray bottle. Let me see here if I can find my other blue marker. I could use colored pencil, but they won't spread out as much. You know, they won't blend, and I like the blending appearance. So I'm going to clear a little space on my tabletop here and pull out. Let's see, I have two options for a blue in this marker set. This one's probably really going to be too dark, but I'm going to just put it on there anyway and see what happens. Oh, it's probably perfect, especially with that other color kind of behind it there. I like how that looks. So that means I'm going to have to go back through with one of these other colors. I'll use the green one. If these markers have actual names, this says aquamarine. This one says water blue. So yeah, I just now learned my markers actually have names for their colors. Anyway, again, following that little line of that sort of a bloom created when I sprayed my water bottle on here, that's making the perfect edge to turn this into the underneath side of a jellyfish. So I'm going to put that on there, and just for something to give it lots of interest, I am going to find maybe this color here and put a little bit of a change up of color in here. That one's not dark enough. So let's see here, what one would be good. I love all my marker sets, but sometimes it almost seems like I have too many color choices. It's a little brown, but it's going to work. Okay, then I'm going to put something like this over here too, and put a dot or two of it right in the middle just so I've got a little bit of consistency going there, and then put the rest of that on with my darker blue marker. And it's okay if some spots get skipped. It actually might look better if I do skip some spots. Kind of like something like that. Then I'm going to get my paintbrush wet and just pull those kind of down in the direction I want them to, I want the tentacles or whatever you call it of the jellyfish to go. And now I think I'm going to decide I want these things to go behind my starfish. Just got water on the brush and barely touch it to that and pull that color down in the direction I want the tentacles going. And I'm going to bring it right down to the edge there of that starfish. And on this side I'm letting it curl up a little bit. And I kind of did, I decide now I don't like it out there, so I'll just dry that right off with a clean paper towel before it dries on the paper, and that is right like I like it to be. Okay, I like that. I think I might want to pull a little bit more of this blue color down right in here though. And I might need to add a bit more color in there with that marker. Or I could actually go over to my paint palette and just pick up a little bit of a similar color, and with that on my paintbrush, do this with the paintbrush instead of just the marker, and get some streaky lines going. Those are going to provide a little bit of a background or a shadow or something for what I do with the markers when I add more of these tentacles. And I think I want one to go there, and that looks good. Okay, now I'm going to let that dry, and I'll be turning that into the rest of my moon jellyfish, like right there. And I need to work on the top of it. Excuse me. And I think what I'll do is I'll take I'll take this marker, the same one I used to create this edge, and I'm going to just figure out where I want the top of that thing to go. And I want it to sort of come up around here and go up this way, and I'm going to cut that part off like that, and I'm using kind of the edge of this marker. It's one of these paintbrush markers, so I can kind of lay it on its edge and get a nice shape going there. And I'm going to do the same thing with that I did with this edge down here. I'm going to get my paintbrush wet and pull a little bit of that marker color down into the rest of the jellyfish, and I want it to look a little bit stripy there. Some darker colored stripes kind of go in through there. Give that the right appearance like that. And I'm adding more paint with my paintbrush. Now I'm not going to worry at all about that other red color back in the background there. That just gives it a mottled appearance. We don't know what would be on the surface of this jellyfish body. Maybe there are some red blotchy spots, or maybe there's not, who knows. But there are on mine. Now I'm going to get most of the water dried out of that brush, and I'm going to soften this red spot that's sticking out right here, because I don't want him to have like a red barnacle or something. So I'll just soften that right out there. And to help that even more, I'm going to pick up some turquoise color out of my palette. And just put that over in there like that. And I'm not sure I like it. So larger paintbrush, a lot more water, really spread that out some more. So I've just got a little soft blue edge going there. I like that. Now, let's go back to the body of the starfish. He needs some decoration, some jewelry or decoration or something, some body art. I don't know what you would call it, but he definitely needs some more, we'll just call it. So I'm going to put that right there. Put another row around here. And then I'll use one of my blending pens. Where are they all? And I'm gonna see if I can soften that and kind of bring some color from the edges out into the center of that. Hi, Sherry. Glad to see you there. I'm just, in case you weren't here for the beginning, I am making this up as I go. And it has turned into an under the sea kind of a theme. Now, I don't really want to darken that inside there too much, but I kind of would like it to have a bluish cast to it. So the way I would go to get that, I'm going to take one of my light blues. Actually, that I was going to just reach for my sky blue, but that has a little bit of a gray color to it. Maybe instead of that, I'll use this paint marker, and I'm going to just put some right around the edge here. Oh yeah, I like that. That's pretty. Okay, then I'm going to put a little bit of it inside of there. And I think I can call that good enough just like it is. I don't even need to go touch it up with with my wet paintbrush or with the blending pen or anything. Let's see. If maybe I can use, this blending pen here. These things get worn out because I use them so much. Let's see if I can bring this color down in between these a little bit better. So what I've got showing there is just like the white center of that circle, and even spread it out a little, so I've got a soft kind of a rim going on around that little bit of knobby, whatever it is, on the surface of the starfish. I don't know what it is, but every picture of the starfish that I see has these knobby, circly bits sticking up. So let's just soften those a little. Let's see what I can create. Now that works pretty good because my blending pen actually picked up some color from over there and deposited it right here, and I like how that looks. But it's run out now, so I'll have to color on something else, get some more color on. Actually, maybe I can do some of that. Soften a little bit right there, and use that around over here. And that helps make some like continuity sort of thing happening in the overall picture. And then I'm going to kind of go like this and make that look like it's all on a ridge, a standing up ridge. You can kind of see that on this little tiny card that I have here. But again, if you Google Starfish, you'll see there how that looks, and you can play with that and get something that you like the look of it. But that's starting to look real pretty. I find also that it's real easy to overdo this. I can color on this till my whole entire paper is just solid markings on it. But I do like it better when I've got some areas that are soft and not really too overdone. And so I'm going to try to leave some of that on this one. Oops, what is that? And this blending pen can kind of, it just moves the watercolor paint the same way it moves the marker. So it moves that pigment around a little, and you can create really soft, subtle detail that's like in the background of your piece. And again, you don't need to feel like you need to rush this stuff. Taking your time with it just allows you to really put more of yourself in it and be more expressive, and make something really pretty happen. And you know, I've been working on this for an hour. Well, almost an hour, because I didn't get started right on time. But I've got some time invested in this already. And here, I'll zoom back out so you can see the whole thing better. See my messy desktop too here. But this doesn't look like a lot for having worked on it for an hour. But that's because I'm investing in this time and my thoughts, and you know, just kind of a lot of, it's almost like I'm investing myself in it, making it I don't know, I think it makes it valuable, even though it may look to some, I've actually had people look at my work and go, oh, that's so naive, or so you know, whatever they said. I don't know if they meant it as a compliment, but it kind of came across to me like they were saying that it was amateur. And if I stopped right here, yeah, this looks amateur, but I'm not stopping. I'm not going to stop till I've got it, every bit of anything on here that I see that I can add, and get it to where I like it. And I've got no shortage of good ideas of stuff I can put in here. See, I just moved my marker cup, but I wanted to show you before I do quit for the day. I will take these kind of marking pens like this, which make fine line of black marks on here, and I'm going to start adding stuff to this. Like I can add tendrily looking things to this, and I can add some little dots in here that look like bubbles, and I can put bubbles hanging off the little tendrils, and it adds a whole nother level to this. It takes some time to do it, and you have to, the slower you go with this and take your time thinking about where you want each one to go, or getting your mind and your arm connected to the point that you can just let your arm just kind of make some of these free-flowing things and have them just come out like you want them. Spending a little bit of time and effort and putting some of yourself into this it adds value to it in a really big way, and you don't need to fall victim to that thinking that if you take a long time to create your art, you're not doing it right. I don't have very much on that right now, but right in this moment, I'm loving how that looks. Let me zoom in so you can see that really good. And again, because of the lag, I can't see if you're seeing it already. You might already be seeing it. So I'm just going to tell you, this has a really light look to it, which I think goes really well with the overall softness that I've got going on with my Starfish and with the tube sponge and the whole thing. Just with this really wet thing, I'm working to create a soft look. And so I put these lines in here with this marking pen, but I didn't overdo it, and it's just a little bit, and it looks, to me, it's soft, and that is really pretty. I'm leaving that right now, just like that. But I'm going to continue to work on this a little bit, and I'll do some more stuff with this, with these like sea sponges, or I'm not really even sure what these guys are down in the corner here. They might be, well, I guess they just do look like one of these other sponges here. Look at that right there, upside down jellyfish. That is a strange looking thing. Anyhow, strange but cool. These I'm going to add a little bit more detail, and right now, ooh, look at that. I could make them look like that one right there. Orange tube coral is what that says that is. Do I have that in the frame? That's bound to be in the frame. This is weird with all the lag, but anyhow, that right there is really cool looking. So I'm going to probably add some more details to this that make it look like that. And that's just an idea I got from this card. I could also totally make it up in my own head. I could go back on here with some more paint. And you know what? I liked this when I first put it on here, but now I'm thinking it needs something else. Right at this moment, I'm not exactly sure what it needs. So I'm going to think on that and think about it. Although I will tell you right now, I just got an idea. It just came to me. I'm going to take this marker and put a little bit of this lavender color right around the outside here for like a shadow or shading of some sort. Put that on there. And then soften that a little bit with my wet paintbrush. And then I'm going to put a little bit of that up in here. And more softening. Except for the little bits of something starting to pill, I like that. So I'll probably do some more stuff like that on there. But anyway, this is how you just sit and create some really awesome artwork from scratch that you didn't really even have a plan for. See if I can move my markers around and get this whole thing in the frame and zoomed in. I'm going to just go over to my other screen. And it's not really all fitting in there. Maybe what I can do is, oh, that's going to take too long. Yeah, so I can't really get a better plan. We're just going to have to look at it like that, and I can zoom back out and we can see it pretty good. But since it's after 3, it's time for me to wrap this up. And as you can see, I'm not finished. That's because I don't hurry, and I'm not going to let myself be rushed. I'm going to create this as I go, and it's just going to come out of my heart and head right now, today, what I'm feeling and what I want to express. And I'll end up with a really pretty piece of art that I'll probably put on my website or on I don't know where I'll put it. I'll put it on my Facebook page and my website. I'll put it on my website somehow or other one of these days. So if you want to see how it turned out, you can check back in there. Meanwhile, thanks for watching if you were there. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had fun. And I will be back again July 16th. It's a Friday, 2 weeks from yesterday, and that's when my next live stream will be. You can find all kinds of other tutorials on my regular YouTube channel and just watch videos if you want to. And that's it. That's what I'm doing for the summer. So hope you will come back and see me. Thanks. Have a great weekend. Oh, and happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. Bye for now.